Have you ever had creative work you wanted to share with the world, but worried that other people might think it's too weird or unusual? Well, in my time of being a musician and songwriter, I used to think I had to make songs that would appeal to the masses and make them in genres that would be popular, but not exactly a true expression of myself. But in this video, I will share why being yourself and showing up as yourself in your creative work is not only good, but vital for creating anything that resonates with audiences. Now, being yourself is scary. It takes a lot of courage to show up authentically as yourself, especially in a world where there's a lot of judgment and criticism that comes around, especially on the internet. This is something that I'm trying to learn myself, and this is my second video on my YouTube channel. The first video was very scary and nerve-wracking to put out because there were a lot of imperfections in the way that I spoke, in the camera, in the lighting, in everything about the video, essentially. But I wanted to post it anyways, even if it wasn't exactly the most quality video. I'm not used to showing my face on the internet, so it was a little bit scary. You know, when we create creative work of any kind, we put ourselves at risk of criticism, of judgment, of critique, some of which might be useful, but some of which might be negative or unconstructive, maybe is a better word. And it's human to care what other people think. It's human to want your art to be good and perceived as great. You know, we're socially wired to fear rejection because in the ancient days, rejection used to mean that you would be ostracized from the tribes that you were in, and you would sometimes be left alone, stranded in the jungle, like fending off for yourself against like lions and stuff. So it's natural to feel scared of what other people might think, especially when you create art that isn't mainstream or isn't popular. However, this biological fear doesn't exactly serve us anymore in this contemporary newfound world that we live in. With the amount of advice and expertise that you hear from, it's easy to believe that there are certain rules and conventions that you have to follow with certain art forms. Like, for example, in music, there are certain chords that are typically seen as good or mainstream, but there are other chords that are maybe more unusual or not so common, but can still be good music. And if you only follow the rules 100% of the time, what you end up with is something that may be technically perfect, but it just feels like it's lacking any sort of human substance. It's sort of like a McDonald's meal where, yes, everything is packaged in a certain way, but it just doesn't taste right going in. But something I'm trying to remind myself of as I continue with my creative work is that there is only one you, and no one else can be better at being you than you are. If you try to make art that is a reflection of society and what society thinks is the best form of art, what you end up is falling short, and you can't really compete with the greats, especially if you're starting out like myself, and you're a young person like myself. But if you take some of that conventional wisdom of whatever art form you're in, and spin it in a way to where it's your own, then suddenly it becomes unique and fresh, and suddenly it's something new. There will always be people who are more technically proficient or better or have more skill at whatever art form you're doing. But they will never be better at being you than you are. And that is the one advantage you have as a beginner. And oftentimes you don't even have to be the most technically proficient in order to make great art that resonates with people. In fact, oftentimes people prefer imperfect authenticity rather than something that is manufactured to be perfect, but lacks that humanity and that depth. For example, Minecraft is one of the most played video games of all time, and yet it has not the best art style, if you could say, at least if we're going with technical definitions of what makes art great. You know, it's very pixelated, the graphics aren't super amazing, but yet people don't care. People love Minecraft anyways. Ironically, much of the charm that comes with Minecraft's art style is the fact that it is pixelated, the fact that it is imperfect, and maintains this cohesive, pixelated art style. If you were a video game company and your task was to create the most played video game of all time, you probably would not be thinking, let's make the graphics very pixelated and not so much a reflection of how modern graphics look like. And yet that is the art style of one of the most popular games of all time. Another example is that many YouTubers shine despite not having the best video or audio quality. They're just showing up as themselves, which is the nature of the platform of YouTube and exactly the ethos that YouTube held when it first was created. And now we see more people watching YouTube than Disney or Netflix or these massive streaming platforms, because YouTube has the power of letting people show up authentically and creators expressing themselves in a unique way that resonates with different audiences. So all this to say, there can be creative magic through imperfection and uniqueness, and you don't have to show up in a way that is meant to appeal to literally everyone, because that is impossible. And if we're taking a purist artist lens for a second, why would you want to create something that isn't exactly a true reflection of yourself? Why would you want to be someone who you're not? If you want to be the next big thing in whatever industry or art form you're in, you have a better chance by being yourself rather than trying to be someone who you're not. And whenever you are contemplating whether it's worth it to be yourself, remind yourself that there are other people who want you to be yourself as well. There are many people who are sick and tired of the same types of people showing up in the entertainment industry and the whatever industry you're in. People want originality, and you are by definition an original person. You are not the same person as someone else. Unless you're a twin, then maybe. But even then, if you're a twin, like, you and your twin would have different personalities and different ways of behaving in some way. But it's only through embracing who you are and your authentic self that you are able to create stuff that resonates with audiences and connects with them. I'll end off this video by talking about the first video that I uploaded last week. I posted it to my channel. It didn't really get many views. I think it's at 5 right now, and I think like 3 or 4 of them are just me rewatching it to just make sure everything was alright. But I sent it to a friend, and I had him watch it, and he said it made him smile, which was really heart-touching to hear. But then I wondered, why did it make him smile? It's not because I had the best, way of speaking about myself. I didn't really speak in the best way possible. The quality of the video isn't that amazing. The editing was subpar, there wasn't really much besides a little bit of background footage. The reason it made him smile was because he said it felt genuine. And I showed up as my authentic self, even with all these imperfections of these videos, and just made content that felt true to myself. So vulnerability will always be scary, but it is the key to make an art that connects with audiences. If you want to see that in practice, you can check out my first video, which I have over here, hopefully, if I can get this right. This end screen right. I'm not sure if I'll be able to have an end screen here or if it will just be me sitting very awkwardly with my hand up, but hopefully a video pops up. We'll see if my editing self is able to pull that off.